Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our Protiviti webinar event on product management, managing products across the life cycle to drive value for you and your customers. For those of you I have not yet met, my name is Justin Pang, a Managing Director in our Risk Compliance practice at Protiviti, and I'll be your host for today's event. Products and services are the gateway to turning customers into loyal customers, yet many businesses grapple with manual approaches to product development. This webinar will outline the requirements and best practices for implementing an effective and a data-driven product management framework. Today, we're fortunate to have product management experts from Protiviti along SkyJed, one of Protiviti's technology partners. Together, we will share some invaluable insights on why product management is important in the context of the consumer duty and how technology can be embraced to enhance your product management and governance framework. As we explore these topics, we're hoping this will spark a number of questions for our speakers. Please use the chat function to ask any questions during the session. We'll have some time aside towards the end where we'll cover a few of those, and we'll also be sharing the slides after the meeting. So let's introduce our fantastic speakers for today's event. Stuart O'Sullivan, he's an Associate Director in Protiviti's Risk Compliance team and leads our Consumer Duty practice. He has been a consultant for over 20 years, helping retail financial services firms adapt and change to the regulatory environment. Stuart started his financial services career as a regulator at the Building Societies Commission and at the Financial Services Authority. Also from Protiviti is Matt Ward. He's a senior manager with over 9 years experience, specializing in financial services. So Matt has served clients in various industries with a speciality in product management, controls transformation, and risk management. Joining us from SkyJed is Lisa Eisen. So Lisa is the founder and CEO of SkyJed. She has extensive experience in leading product and engineering teams in technology, telecommunications, Internet of Things, and healthcare markets, where she has held roles as the Chief Technology Officer and Head of Product. In an executive career, Lisa has launched more than 55 technology products to market across consumer and B2B markets. And we also have Alex Wade from SkyJed. So Alex is the UK and Europe CEO. He has over 20 years experience in the financial service industry across wealth management, investment, and retail banking. He's also worked in multiple jurisdictions across the globe and has lived in Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, and in the UK. So on the agenda for today, we've got a packed agenda. Go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so we go through, I guess, to set the context on why product management is important. Then we'll go through and talk about what are some of the current industry challenges, talking through some of the pain points and to share some insights into how some of our clients have addressed those. Then we also talk about what does effective product management look like, talking through some of the outcomes and benefits. Then we hand it over to SkyJed to talk a bit about more how their platform has helped their clients to achieve an effective product governance and management framework. And we'll have a brief discussion on some of the best practices and key takeaways, finally closing with any questions that you may have. Stuart, this is probably a good time to hand over to you to discuss the key industry challenges and what we are seeing with our clients.
Thanks, Justin, and good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you all on the call this afternoon. So I wanted to start off by just setting the scene a little bit in terms of consumer duty, what that means, and where we are and what are some of the challenges that we're seeing at the moment. Nikhil Rathi, the Chief Executive of the FCA, has described consumer duty as the most significant change in regulation in decades. And it has been quite a significant change for the industry to grapple with. The implementation date was the 31st of July last year for open book products, and we have another deadline this year for closed book products, which need to be assessed by the 31st of July. And there's been a significant amount of work needed to be done across firms, across the industry, in order to implement consumer duty. Today, I want to focus very much on the product management and the product governance elements of that. And the first slide here just sets out the regulatory framework that we have in place now. So with consumer duty, there is a new principle for business, which is a thermostat to deliver good outcomes for retail customers. There are 3 cross-cutting rules down the left-hand side of the slide about acting in good faith, avoiding foreseeable harm, and enabling customers to achieve their financial objectives. And then there's 4 outcomes, and it's the outcomes where I wanted to just explore what product management means in a consumer duty context. Those 4 outcomes are split quite nicely into 2 groups mainly. You've got 2 outcomes which relate to products and services. So that's the products and services outcome and the price and value outcome. And then you've got 2 outcomes which relate to how we are meant to be dealing with our customers. And that's the consumer understanding outcome and the consumer support. In the session today, I'm very much going to focus on the first 2 outcomes, the products and services and the price and value. So where is consumer duty trying to get us to from a product management and a product governance perspective? Well, what the FCA are trying to get the industry to deliver is that all products and services should be fit for purpose. Therefore, when we design a product, when we make a product, we should be avoiding foreseeable harm, we should be acting in good faith, and we should be delivering or helping retail customers achieve their financial objectives. Products and services need to be designed to meet the needs, characteristics, and objectives of a target group of customers. That includes vulnerable customers. Therefore, we need to do proper research. We need to understand the target market we're going after. We need to prove it to ourselves that we've got a product that customers actually want and need. And then we need to go out and market that target market and later prove to ourselves that we've sold it to the right people. And lastly, products and services also need to be distributed appropriately. So we need to have the right distribution strategy for the products that we've designed so that it is sold to the right target customer. And where we outsource that distribution to a third party, we need to engage with them in the right way, receive the right information to ensure that our product is landing with the right customers. All of these together, so making sure that they're designed for the needs, characteristics and objectives of a target market, and that they're distributed appropriately through our channels, and that products are fit for purpose, are essential steps in making sure that we deliver good outcomes for customers. So those are the areas that when we talk about evidencing and outcome testing, those are the areas that we need to be focusing in on. And then at the bottom of the slide there, I've just pulled together kind of 3 areas where product governance and consumer duty really have got a key focus at the moment. So it is around evidencing that the outcomes that we're delivering to customers are delivering good outcomes. It is about making sure that once we design a product, we are reviewing it on an ongoing basis and making sure that we're getting the right information to do that. And it's also about making sure that our products that we've designed is priced and adds value to customers, and it's priced at the right price point to demonstrate the benefits that the customer gets from the product. So that's the kind of the context and our high level what consumer duty is trying to deliver through product management. We were then going to go on to a Menti question, which is the next slide, which I think, Justin, you're going to kind of talk us through.
Yeah, so the question is, what challenges are you seeing with your product management processes? So the Menti word cloud, the code is on screens at 937-54370, or you can scan the QR code with your phone.
Okay, so we're already getting some fairly common responses there. So especially kind of excessive documentation. So I mean, this is certainly kind of a complaint that we get a lot from product managers. So forms that are repeating questions throughout the product lifecycle in different ways. But I guess at the same time, there is also the consideration that a lot of these templates do contain very key information around things to avoid product creep. Also, obviously, around compliance with specific legal obligations, but and also I think just also monitoring performance over time as well. So that's a good one. Time consuming, I guess a similar point to the excessive documentation for sure. Knowledge gaps as well, especially when it comes to consumer duty. So I think there's certain pockets in the business that will certainly understand consumer duty a lot more than other areas of the business, and then often that feeds into this whole piece around excessive documentation and thinking documentation is going overboard. I think lack of oversight is an interesting one as well. So actually, this has been a common theme with a lot of our clients, just worried about the current lack of oversight over the product management process for sure, and also when you're thinking about the workflow and who needs to be involved at what points in the workflow. So we've seen times where clients are developing products and you're getting through to the end or close towards the end of developing the product, and then compliance haven't actually been consulted on specific areas of the product development. So again, it's making sure that the right people are involved at the right stages in the process. Stuart, I don't know if you have anything else to add there.
So it's probably a good time to move on to the next slide, where we're going to pick up some of the common pain points that we see. So if we just get the slide on screen. There we go. Yeah, so I think some of these themes have come through in the results that we had there for the Menti poll. But on this slide here, what we just wanted to reference is some of the pain points that we've seen from projects that we've assisted our clients on in the past, and what we see kind of generally when we're having conversations with people. So one of the things that we'll explore later in the conversation is the fact that there is poor real-time monitoring of products. So do product managers actually get access to the right information at the right time in order to make informed decisions about their products, and in order to give themselves comfort that their products are performing in the right way? A lot of the time, product management is done almost on a point in time basis rather than the real time ongoing basis, and what we should be aspiring to or moving towards is having real time monitoring for our product so that we can make agile decisions. And that kind of feeds into the next point around agility, but this is more about making our process that we have to follow, and the process seems to get in the way a lot when we're making, designing and changing products. Is our speed to market right? Do things get in our way? Matt referenced, compliance being in the process and maybe delaying decisions. Sometimes organizations just set themselves up in a very bureaucratic way, which is a point further down as well, where the decision-making process or the sign-off process for a new product, a change, just takes far too long, and you miss the opportunity in the market. So how can we move at pace if we've got something we want to get to market and want to get out to clients? The next point around spreadsheet driven, time and time again, when we do projects with clients, you see that the product management area is entirely Excel driven. There's spreadsheets everywhere. When you try and get some information about complaints or claims or product data, you have to go to various different sources, and it's all on different parameters. So bringing this all together in a consistent way, which isn't spreadsheet driven, but gives you consistent data and gets you away from that manual systems and spreadsheets, is kind of, again, the aspiration for where you should be getting to with your product management. The next thing is regulatory evidencing. Again, this one points back to data, but there is now the need to prove that the outcomes that we're delivering for customers are good. There is now the need to make sure that we've got real-time monitoring so that those outcomes can change. And how can we bring this all in a way that the board can get the right information so that they can attest to the likes of the FCA that our products are delivering value and delivering good outcomes. And I think the last point there about inefficient process, we probably touched on already, but doing this all in a way which the process isn't driving the development of products. The development of products should be driving the outcomes for our customers rather than kind of process getting in the way of us launching stuff and delivering stuff which customers are asking for. So quite a few themes there, quite a few of them interlinked. And Matt, now I think you're going to take us through kind of how can we take some of these issues forward.
Yep, thanks, Stuart. So now that we've identified the pain points, let's dive into ways to actually address these. I think Stuart's alluded to some of these already. So if we can just move to the next slide. Sorry, thanks. So we'll start with real-time monitoring tools. So understanding how your products are actually performing in real time is crucial for making informed decisions. So by implementing real-time monitoring tools, firms can gather immediate insights into product performance that informs decision making. So this can be things like, do we invest in a product? Do we scale a product? Do we actually want to withdraw a product as well? And then this can really help drive continuous improvement across your product suites. Next up is streamlining internal product development processes. So speaking to product managers, they are continually frustrated by the paperwork and governance tasks that distract from their core focus, which is product development. So, and we saw that again earlier in the Menti poll. I think there was 2 points around that already. So streamlining these processes is very important and really ensuring that they're lean, but yet still compliant. So we've seen frameworks where product managers are asked to duplicate free text again and again in different templates and also at different stages in the product life cycle as well. So that this obviously results in huge inefficiencies, huge frustrations, and then also it results in clashes between various teams in the business as well. So having a framework of key templates and governance documentation, which one covers all the regulatory areas required and two reaches an objective output, is incredibly important. So for example, if we're completing a price and value assessment of a product, you want to ensure that all the key regulatory areas are covered, but then also minimizing the free text fields as well where possible, and then using these fields to actually reach an objective conclusion based on the inputs into the template. And then this then follows on and allows for consistency in the way that the assessment is actually performed and also the way conclusions are reached, which again, clients with larger product suites have really struggled with. Moving on to transitioning to digital product management platforms. So this is kind of what Stuart mentioned earlier. So ditching the spreadsheets essentially. So digital product management platforms offer a host of benefits. So this can range from centralizing up-to-date data, collaboration tools, automated workflows, and really just an objective view of your overall product suite. So a product performance score essentially. So this removes all the manual tasks that you're currently working on, and then you can focus on more strategic initiatives. I won't get into too much detail here because I know Lisa and Alex from SkyJed will cover a lot of this shortly. But again, it's a key area of focus on a key area to focus on when thinking about addressing pain points. Next up, and this is one which is often kind of overlooked, but investing in robust compliance management systems. So navigating regulatory requirements can be really complex, and as Stuart's already touched on earlier, but robust compliance management systems streamline documentation, they track changes and ensure adherence to regulatory standards as well. So we did a review recently over the obligations for a new product offering at a retail bank, and there were various issues coming from just the workflow setup in the system. So which was basically developed for a very specific product initially, and these challenges really highlighted the need for adaptable and scalable compliance management systems as well. Finally, which I'll touch on briefly, is just implementing agile decision frameworks. So this really empowers cross-functional teams, and it promotes a culture of accountability as well. And then this can lead to faster decision making and ultimately speed up the product development and if there's product changes as well. But that whole process. So in summary, it's a very comprehensive approach that's needed to address the pain points. I'm conscious today that we haven't got loads of time, but that's a high level summary of what clients that we're working with are doing today. So if we move on to the next slide, then we can talk about effective product management. So as you can see at the top, we have the product lifecycle process from ideation discovery all the way through to product withdrawal. So, and underpinning that, we have people, data, tech, and governance documentation. So if I start with people, so cross-functional collaboration, so clearly defining responsibilities and open communication really drives collaboration and alignment towards common goals. Next, thinking about empowerment and ownership. So providing the autonomy and decision-making authority encourages accountability and ownership, and teams are empowered to make informed decisions and really drive initiatives forward. And finally, continuous learning and development. So feedback mechanisms. So establishing feedback loops with customers and internal stakeholders really enables continuous improvement and iteration of your products. So next up is data. So we'll think about 4 key pillars here. So data-driven decision-making. So by analyzing metrics like user engagement and conversion rates, product teams can make informed decisions that align with strategic objectives, but also mitigate risk and potential opportunities. Evidence and customer outcomes here again. So I know, Stuart, maybe you want to jump in here just quickly as well again, but I know he's already touched on this, but product success hinges on delivering value to users. So by measuring and evidencing customer outcomes through data analytics, teams ensure that a product actually meets user needs, and this subsequently drives loyalty. But equally as important, it continues to meet consumer duty obligations. So this data can allow product managers to actually prioritize features and enhancements that actually drive value. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Stuart, Store, from an evidence and customer outcome standpoint.
No, I think that's fine, Matt. I'll carry on.
Cool. So a user-centric approach is the next piece. So understanding user behavior and preferences drives product excellence. So by gathering feedback and conducting usability testing, teams can tailor products to user needs and delivering experiences that actually continue to resonate with the user of the products. And then that again drives loyalty. And finally, iterative experimentation. So iterative testing and learning accelerate product development again. So this can be through A/B testing. Teams can then validate their hypotheses and gather feedback and iterate quickly and efficiently. Tech, again, I won't go into too much detail here and steal SkyJed's thunder, but scalable infrastructure. So this ensures reliability and flexibility. Automation and AI streamline processes, and digital product management tools can enhance the end-to-end product management process for all parties. So this again can drive efficiencies and ultimately deliver high quality products that meet customer needs. I think one thing to note here as well, so the FCA has announced yesterday its plans for the year ahead, and this includes a focus on tightening enforcement of its consumer duty rules. And as part of that, they're looking at increasing the use of AI to improve consumer experiences. It's actually looking to work with firms on the safe deployment of AI to detect and respond to consumer harms faster. So again, it just shows the direction of travel of the regulator. Finally, governance documentation. So I know this has been touched on a few times, but this can include things like discovery templates for initial ideas, product definitions, feature definitions, price and value assessments, risk assessments, product withdrawal templates, and that's just a handful of the templates that we see at clients. But product governance documentation is crucial, and this is for several reasons. So firstly, which I alluded to earlier, is product creep. So it basically ensures that products stay true to their initial vision and objectives, so avoiding deviation into uncharted and unwanted territories which weren't previously approved, which opens up the potential issues into with regulatory compliance for sure. It secondly serves as regulatory evidence. So it demonstrates compliance with standards and regulations throughout the product lifecycle. And the final point that I'd make is it allows for retrospective analysis. So it says you set your objectives at the outset, saying this is what we want to achieve with this product, and then you're able to look back at that post-launch and say, right, these were the objectives that we set at the outset. Have we actually achieved what we set out to achieve with this product? So in essence, it's not just a formality, but a strategic tool. And this can be for maintaining integrity, compliance, and also just monitoring product performance over time. If we can go to the next slide, please. So I'll touch quickly on just kind of the outcomes and benefits. I think we've spoken quite a bit about this already, but in terms of the key areas, so we've got transparent process with clear ownership. So it establishes a systematic approach with clear ownership of tasks, and this facilitates much smoother product development process. And this transparency again drives that accountability among team members, which can then reduce bottlenecks. There's a single source of truth of product information. So it centralizes product information from all stakeholders throughout the life cycle and creates a repository that basically acts as your golden source of product data. And then off the back of that, this will then allow for strategic decisions to be made based on accurate and actually up-to-date information. And then off the back of that, it drives much more efficient MI reporting as well, better decision making as well. So clear audit trail and regulatory compliance. So this is through using consistent templates to demonstrate regulatory compliance, and also back to the point around making sure that those templates reach objective decisions. It again allows you to respond to change requests as well from the business or the regulator fairly promptly. Effective communication collaboration tool as well, so that the framework encourages centralized communication and collaboration for internal stakeholders and even external stakeholders as well. So it facilitates information sharing, feedback exchange, and decision-making processes. And then finally, just a clear view of your products across the life cycle. So it offers a holistic view of all your products across all of the life cycle stages. So it enables proactive planning and agile responses to market changes. And this allows for efficient resource planning and also proactive planning of product reviews, which again, a lot of the time product reviews are delayed, and then they're often done fairly late down the line. So I guess in summary, an effective product management framework obviously delivers tangible outcomes and benefits that will drive innovation and efficiency. So on that note, I think I'll hand over to Lisa from SkyJed, so she can talk through a bit more kind of the tangible outputs from what tools and tech can do from a product management standpoint.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa. I'm going to spend probably just the next 10 minutes giving you a high-level overview of SkyJed, and I'm going to drill down into how we help with the sort of two critical business goals, so your product compliance that we've talked about today, but also the innovation side of your product management. So before I dive into the platform, I'm just going to talk a little bit about who we are, and then I'll hand over to Alex just to showcase some pragmatic examples of how this can all work in your business. So just a bit of an introduction.
Can we just have the next slide?
Slides. Yeah, that's
you.
it. So just in terms of who we are, so my founder journey with SkyJed started about 6 years ago, and I invested 12 months of conducting interviews with more than 100 business executives, and I did that globally, so in the US, here in the UK, also Australia. And what I was really exploring in those discussions was how are businesses managing their product life cycle, but also the compliance side of it, the product trust. So definitely found some pain points in that, and I guess fast forward 5 years, we're now based and headquartered here in the UK, and that's primarily been driven by the demand we're getting here for lifecycle lifecycle management and digital tools for things like consumer duty. So the teams based here, we've grown pretty rapidly on our journey and the interest in product governance. We've now got more than 150 clients on the platform. And just on that sort of last point, I guess, in terms of the innovation and the awards, that, you know, what's at the heart of that is that in building the platform, I do thoroughly believe that if you have, you know, good product lifecycle disciplines in your business, you do get those benefits, obviously, of your product compliance, but also your product growth. I mean, things like the disciplines of product reviews. I've seen in, you know, many of our clients benefits around your innovation, revenue opportunities, you know, opportunities to improve your product margins, but also, you know, address some of those customer friction points that you might have in your end-to-end journey. So just over on the next slide, a bit about SkyJed. So SkyJed, in simple terms, is an end-to-end product lifecycle platform. So starting right at that product design through to your monitoring and your eventual, you know, exit of those sunsetting products. So we automate all of that, but we also give you all of the enterprise-wide governance and administration tools that you need across your business, across your product portfolios, and for the organisation. And that brings many benefits of just getting rid of that huge amount of manual processes that we've talked about today in some of those pain points. So some of the benefits we're seeing, the kind of first and foremost across our clients, it's just really, you know, consolidating down into one central place to have all that information about your products. Doesn't matter if you've got thousands of products, they're in the platform, getting rid of those tools. And some of those tools are often still, you know, shared drives, Excel and PowerPoint that just come into one central place. So plenty of benefits of doing that in terms of your decision making, but also, you know, your knowledge management and handover between your product teams, because we know that, you know, product managers change roles on average, you know, every 2 years. So significant benefits there. Now, in terms of the product management, the monitoring, those product reviews, really important. I've done those for nearly sort of 20 years in my own career. Many benefits come out of that monitoring, but manually it's a challenge. So across our clients, we're saving those product and compliance teams, you know, on a minimum of 50% of their time by getting that into an automated workflow in the platform. And Alex will show you some examples of that in a minute. Now, the reporting side, obviously really critical for your decision making around your growth and your product innovation, but also for your compliance, sharing that product information in with your compliance teams. You know, typically we're seeing, again, saving around about 90% of your time in Excel and PowerPoint. That's all in the platform. All the reporting, your risk reporting, your product reporting is automated in the platform. And at a click of a button, you can get product level reports, but right up to the reports and dashboards that you need to brief your senior executives. So significant benefits there. Just over on the next slide now. This is just a, you know, a simple visual view of the SkyJed platform before we take you through some examples. So SkyJed, first and foremost, the platform, we've designed it so that you can collaborate across your business. So obviously product management's one of those functions where we need to be able to collaborate with our compliance teams, with our designs teams, marketing teams. So the platform itself is that end-to-end lifecycle governance, but you also collaborate with your teams. So if you see here, just on the left-hand side of this slide, the platform has a design workspace. Now, in this design workspace, that's where you create your team to collaborate with. You create that product design at that first step. And, you know, we're seeing clients use the platform, of course, for your product design of your new products, but also your product collateral and things like your product level sustainability statements. So that all happens in that design workspace. And then the second part of the platform is what we call a monitoring workspace. So this is where you do all of that monitoring of the critical KPIs, things like your sales data, your customer complaints. But in this workspace, you do your monitoring, but we also help you automate all of your product reviews. We've got some fantastic templates in there that you can use to get started pretty quickly from day one. So that monitoring workspace also automates all of your reporting. And then the second area that's quite popular in this workspace is all of your risk management. So we automate all of that risk management and the management of any risk actions that you need to improve your products. And then the final part of it, of course, it is really all about those insights and dashboards that you get for your reporting and your decision making. So that's the third part of it. So on that, I'll hand over to Alex just to take you through some examples.
Thanks, Lisa. Can I have the next slide? Thank you. So I guess this is just some of the areas or functions that SkyJed can help as a platform, but ultimately SkyJed really is a platform that just provides a framework across effective product management. So if the things that Stuart and Matt talked about, SkyJed really provides a tool to operationalize everything that we've sort of covered so far. This is obviously a fairly wordy slide, so I won't go through every single point, but I'll just highlight some of them across these 8 key topics. There is more, but also don't be overwhelmed. The platform can do as little or as much as needed. In the product management space, as Lisa mentioned, it's sort of really about getting started quickly, at speed with pre-built templates and best practice templates, but also things that can be customized to your specific needs. On reg compliance, obviously, this is a critical point, as Stuart mentioned, around regulatory evidencing. But really, we have sort of best practice templates from across our clients, but also with our SMEs and partners like Protiviti, but provide you this full audit trail, so you have everything documented in one place and automated, and including all the approvals processes and workflows. Governance and approvals, again, this is around your approval controls, ensuring the right levels of approvals and the right sort of accountability and responsibility. The single figure health score, I'll come to in a minute, but something that's been very powerful. And really everything is around, providing dashboards for not only, detailed users, but also exec level and just, decision level people, accountable people that can be drilled down as detailed as need be. In risks and opportunities, I think, we talk a lot about risks, but the flip side of a lot of risks is the opportunities. So we're very sort of wary of that, and we provide dashboards on both. And again, it's all about the visual, but also about the easy tracking and reporting. Lifecycle management, obviously, this is a key component of today and a key focus of the world. We really do talk about ideation to sunsetting when we talk about lifecycle management of products or projects, for that matter. The traditional method of signing a business case, building a product and marketing it, and then sort of not so much worrying about the tail. We really focus on the full lifecycle management throughout the process, and that's something that's come about sort of since, or become a real focus in the world since sort of GFC and beyond. Analysis and reporting, talked about, everything is around sort of dashboard, but as alluded to today, it's really around having real-time data. So you come, real-time data, not only for monitoring, but having the sort of live insights for actual decisions, as opposed to, waiting for financials to come in and things like that at a 10 minus. Just the two sort of very unique things and very sort of hot topics, but the unique one that SkyJed around partner collaboration. So this is for your strategic partners or distribution force or whatever it may be. a lot of people back to the golden Excel, chasing all their partners, things going on emails everywhere, Excel going everywhere, multiple formatting, multiple templates, people having to manually compile it, etc. So we have a version of SkyJed called SkyJed Connect, which sits with your partner, so it enables them to have you and them to have a secure system where everything is in the same format, same process, following your policies, etc., etc. And that's something that's obviously been very, very powerful, particularly in the financial services space. And sustainability and ESG, obviously a huge topic. We have a lot of challenges for companies to justify that sort of value chain process around the end-to-end sustainability, particularly around things like greenwashing, etc. We have a whole module that's dedicated to sort of providing that tool to operationalize it and have the templates and demonstrated tracking. Next slide, please. Someone. Thank you. So just to run through a couple of examples of what the reporting and tools and dashboards look like. This is the sort of risk and strategy, so risk and opportunity, if you like. Dashboards, obviously the risk is in the lovely RAG rating that we all know so well, but you can see, so not only do you have the RAG rating, the coloring, you also have the numbers of options or tasks in those, and each of those tasks, so if you clicked on one of the twos, you drill down into who is the owner, the status of that, where it's at, etc., etc. So again, you have this sort of visual dashboard to know where you're at, and likewise some of the opportunities as well. So from a management dashboard, next slide, please. This is the sort of product governance, again, an executive dashboard, if you like, around your company-wide product overview. So this, you can see here on the left, it covers the life cycle stage of a product from all your products from launch to exit, and where they're at. On the right is your health check across your product portfolio, and then up the top is the audit and governance points, etc. So again, just a visual snapshot for tracking and monitoring. Next slide, please. This is the single figure health score we talked about, and Lisa talked about as well. So you can see when you have things like board reporting or senior stakeholder reporting, management reporting, etc., we tend to have sometimes lots of teams spending lots of effort doing reporting for various stakeholders, which can sometimes be complex and sometimes not consistent. This is you see the domains down the left here that make up the single figure health score, but ultimately it's a quick way for senior management, board, stakeholders, regs, etc., to monitor the health of a product. And these domains are driven on the left by algorithms and AI, so they can be sort of tailored for your needs. And I guess importantly as well, any of this all of this reporting is at the click of a button, so it can be in PowerPoint, Word, PDF, whatever sort of format you want it, again, at the click of a button, which comes back to that huge 90% saving that Lisa was talking about. Next slide, please. And so just to summarize, obviously everything we do nowadays is around a return on investment, obviously a positive return on investment, otherwise you're probably not ideal. And this is ultimately SkyJed. We've talked around these consolidation of tools, the minimum reduction of 50% in product monitoring, the massive reduction in reporting and analysis, but ultimately SkyJed is a single platform for all your business processes, governance and reporting. So not only does it allow all this time saving and creating efficiency and help you drive growth, but it also severely or massively reduces your manual risks and errors across the sort of human interaction. Plus you have a long-term storage and tracking across the value chain and the life cycle of your products. So that's it from me. I will hand back to Matt.
Great, thanks, Alex. If we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so we'll cover some best practices and key takeaways pretty quickly, and then we can get on to Q&A. But yeah, so in terms of kind of the best practices, key takeaways that we've discussed today, so really focusing on a customer-centric approach. So this is all around understanding customer needs and gathering feedback regularly to actually ensure alignment with expectations, but also to actually evidence that products are continuing to provide value, especially with a consumer duty lens now as well. Cross-functional collaboration. So again, just encouraging collaboration across departments for a holistic approach to product management, and also making sure that when you are collaborating, that you're making sure that you're getting the right stakeholders involved at the right time, avoiding bottlenecks, and also avoiding getting stakeholders involved far too late in the process as well. Leveraging tech and data-driven insights, which I think Alex and Lisa have touched on quite a lot, but thinking about using tools and automation to streamline processes and enhance productivity, which has just been discussed, and utilizing analytics to track metrics, things like product health scores, to identify improvement opportunities, and also optimize product strategies as well. And it's just back to having that real-time data and live insights to really kind of drive that home when you're thinking about your reporting in MI. Finally, just the continuous risk monitoring. So implementing an approach to monitor and mitigate risks throughout the product lifecycle. It is a lot of what our clients are trying to do now, so they're not detecting risks and then reacting to them. They're proactively trying to monitor these risks up front, and that's the thing. And part of that, as Alex alluded to, then that's part of the SkyJed platform as well. Anyone else from Protiviti or SkyJed want to add anything from best practices and key takeaways? Otherwise, we'll move to the Q&A.
Thanks.
Cool.
Great. Thanks to all the speakers. So some of the common questions we have from our clients, so perhaps direct the first one to you, Stuart. So what type of information should be considered as part of product reviews?
Thanks, Justin. So very short question, but probably quite a big answer to that one. I'll probably start with coming back to the original point that products are how we engage with our or how we turn consumers into customers. So they're really important for us from a commercial perspective, and they're really important from now a regulatory perspective. So we do need to evidence that we're delivering good outcomes from a regulatory perspective, but designing products which customers need and want and will buy from us will drive our business forward. So if we're looking at product reviews, we want to be assessing the product on an ongoing basis based on the risk it represents to us as a business, and collecting information which tells us, are we getting the right feedback from customers that they want it? Are we selling it in the right way that they understand it? Is it performing as we'd expected it to when we designed the product? And it's almost that holistic set of information which enables us to track across the life cycle. Is it doing what it said it would do as part of our business plan? And are there elements that we need to change, improve, etc.? So when we speak to our clients, or when I think about gathering information for product reviews, it is looking at the product end to end across its life cycle and picking up the right elements to give you a view as to whether it's delivering the right outcomes across that life cycle. So there's quite a bit of data that you can capture there, but it is trying to take that holistic view and think about improvements. Yeah, I don't know whether anyone else from the team wanted to jump in on that.
No, great.
Covered it
Great.
well.
Thanks, Stuart. So direct the next question to Matt. So I guess based on what we've partnered with our clients, what are some of the key metrics have they used and what we've advised them to use to measure product success and inform decision making?
Yeah, so we worked with a client on developing out their key reporting processes. So when evaluating product success, there are several key areas you can track, and I'll think probably more from a performance and operational standpoint, and then Stuart, I'll probably throw over to you from a more consumer duty standpoint. But if you're thinking around user engagement metrics, so like active users, retention rates, which basically show kind of how well the product actually attracts and retains users. Customer satisfaction metrics are always a good one to have in there. So things like NPS scores, CSAT scores, just really showing overall satisfaction levels. Obviously, you'd want financial metrics in there as well, with things like revenue and ROI, which will assess the product's profitability. Thinking about from I guess also linked to kind of the engagement metrics, but conversion metrics as well. So thinking, right, how do we actually measure the effectiveness of converting leads to actually customers, and then customers to loyal customers as well? And then also thinking about from more maybe a product manager standpoint, but thinking about the reliability of products. So tracking things like error rates on the frequency of bugs. It is another one that we see a lot of clients tracking as well. And then finally, just thinking from a product development standpoint and operational metrics. So time to market development, so that the development cycle time can really evaluate process efficiency, and then also thinking about bottlenecks there as well. Where can we drive more efficiencies? What is causing these bottlenecks? Stuart, I don't know if there's anything you want to add from more a reg and consumer duty standpoint in terms of areas that you'd want to monitor.
So I think a key risk for the business is where they're using distributors. Are their distributors selling the product in the right way? One of the key drivers behind the products and services outcome that the FCA have got is that they want product manufacturers and product distributors to be talking to each other, to be sharing information a lot more. I think in the past, you almost gave your product to someone else to sell for you and didn't really receive any information. And there's a broader play here that the FCA are doing about how you manage your critical third parties. But within the product management lifecycle, distributors are a critical third party for you. And do you get the evidence that the products that you've given to them, they actually understand when they're trying to sell it to their customers, and they're selling it to the right target market group of customers? And sometimes one of the issues that the FCA is trying to solve is that distributors and manufacturers just don't speak to each other. And I know through the Connect function that the SkyJed tool has, there is that plugin, the Connect element, where the product manufacturer can require the distributor to be sending them information, which they'll agree up front, but that allows you to get that real-time feed from your distributors as to whether we are sending it to the right target market or whether we're getting complaints about a particular area. So I think managing that distributor relationship is a key risk for any firm.
Yeah,
Right.
and Stuart, I've sort of just jump in to add to that Connect feature is definitely one of the most sort of popular features in our platform, because it does enable you to simply to be able to send out and receive back that anything you want to share with your distribution channel and those updates. But importantly, you get all of those reports and updates in the platform covering those distributors. That's really simple to set up, and you get those real-time insights across up to sort of hundreds or thousands of distributors.
Right, thanks, Lisa. I guess given that ESG is quite topical at the moment, so perhaps I direct this question at Lisa or Alex. To what extent does the SkyJed platform effectively safeguard against the practice of greenwashing, I guess ensuring accurate representation and transparency in sustainability initiatives?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Justin. So, yeah, look, we have a number of clients using the SkyJed platform, obviously for their product management. And using our modules for ESG, but particularly for sustainability. So all of those templates are built into the platform. But I guess the benefits of doing that is that when you start to bring those that ESG or sustainability down to a product level, so when you're designing a new product, setting that sustainability statement, but then after you've launched it, sort of monitoring whatever metrics that you've set around products or decisions you're making around transitioning them. So we support that at a product level. So it complements the sort of company-wide view, but it gives product managers and your compliance teams all of those templates and tools that you need to monitor at that product or portfolio level. And really, when you're getting down to that level, you get those bottom-up insights to prevent the sort of greenwashing, and to be able to just have that data at a product level to support whatever marketing claims you're making, but also all of the decisions we need to make over the next 5 years to transition our product portfolios.
Great, thanks, Lisa. One final question for today. And this is quite open and broad, but how long does the SkyJed platform take to set up?
Yeah, so look, I mean, typically we see clients onboarded with really up to, large product portfolios in sort of 5 to 7 weeks. So we have a dedicated customer success team that does that training and onboarding and helps you bring all your products into the platform, and map out your lifecycle governance framework, and have it ready for the the dashboards and the monitoring that you want to set up in your business. So typically we see sort of 5 to 7 weeks, and we support you with that, bringing all of that into the platform, and obviously working with partners like Protiviti to support that, any sort of change management and the advisory that you need around it.
Great, thanks, Lisa. We're just about on time, so I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone for your time to attend this webinar. We hope that it was provided with some insights in terms of what we're seeing in the market, and also how data and technology can support your product management and governance frameworks. So thank you again. We will send out the presentation deck together with any contact details if you wish to, I guess, continue this conversation, or like a deeper dive into the SkyJed platform. Thanks again, everyone, and have a good afternoon rather.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.